Hello and welcome to day 7 of your 14-day challenge. You are halfway there. Congratulations. Today's practice will be a full body flow. So let's go ahead and get ourselves moving. Begin in child's pose. Take your knees wider toward the edges of your mat. Let your hips gently sink back, and you can reach long through your arms as you lower your forehead to the mat. Take some time to get comfortable and start to breathe deeply. Let your belly and your sides expand with your inhale. And take a slow, long exhale. As you let your breath continue to flow, pay attention to what happens within your body. You might begin to feel more relaxed, more steady and grounded, or even more prepared for your practice. In child's pose, walk your hands over to the right. They might go off of your mat a little bit onto the floor. Interlace your left hand on top of your right hand and sink into your child's pose, adding a side stretch for your left side. Send your breath into your left side, letting your ribs become a bit more open and spacious. Back through center. Walk your hands to the opposite side over to the left, interlacing your right hand on top. Send your breath into your right side. Back through center and shift forward onto hands and knees. From hands and knees, tuck your toes under and move into downward facing dog, letting your hips lift up and back. In downward dog, add any movement that feels good. You can pedal your heels, you can bend your knees, you can come up onto your toes, adding a little toe stretch. Start to bring in your breath so you're feeling that same sensation that you had in child's pose, expanding into your belly, into your rib cage. In downward dog, walk your palms backward toward your feet and arrive in a forward fold once you get there. As you fold forward, relax your neck and shoulders and either hang your arms down or hold on to your elbows. With your knees slightly bent, slowly roll yourself up to standing. You'll be at the back end of your yoga mat as you come up, stand tall in Tadasana, little core strength, lots of length through your spine. From here, inhale, reach up over your head, and exhale, fold forward. Inhale, come up halfway to a flat back. Exhale, fold forward, and walk your palms all the way forward to the top end of the mat. Shift your shoulders forward, come into high plank pose, engaging your abdominals in. Chest draws a little bit forward, arms are pushing into the floor. Let's hold for 5, 4, 3 more, 2, last one. Lower your knees down. Let's lower for 5, bending your elbows slow. 4, 3, 2, and 1. Lower right onto your belly. Slide your hands a little bit back. Engage your back muscles and curl your chest upward into cobra pose. Engage your back muscles, your glutes, and your hamstrings. Hold here, keep your breath flowing. Then go ahead and lower your chest down, tuck your toes, and you can either leave your knees on the mat or lift your knees. Engage your core in, and you're gonna press to plank or kneeling plank. Push through your hands and inhale, press up. Exhale back to downward facing dog. From downward dog, step or hop all the way forward to the top of your mat. Inhale to a flat back. Exhale to fold. As you press through your feet, inhale, rise and reach your arms up. And exhale, release your arms down. From the top of your mat, inhale, reach up. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, half lift. Plant your palms. Exhale, step back to plank. For chaturanga, you can lower from your toes or from your knees. Bend your elbows to come down halfway as you exhale. Then you'll either go to your belly for cobra pose, or you can rise up through upward facing dog, engaging your back muscles. Exhale back into downward dog. From downward dog, step or hop to the top. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, rise and reach your arms up. And exhale, release your arms down. Inhale, reach your arms up. Exhale, fold. Inhale, half lift. Plant your palms. Exhale, step back. Lower down through your chaturanga, choosing a variation. Inhale, upward dog or cobra. Exhale, downward facing dog. From downward dog, step or hop to the top. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, rise and reach up. And exhale, release your arms. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, fold. Inhale, half lift. Plant your palms, exhale, step back. Lower down through chaturanga. Inhale, upward dog or cobra. Exhale, downward dog. From downward dog, step or hop to the top. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, rise and reach up. Exhale, release your arms. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, fold. Inhale, half lift. Plant your hands. Exhale, step back. Lower down through chaturanga. Inhale, upward dog or cobra. Exhale, downward dog. Here in downward dog, keep your arms grounded and strong. Raise your right leg toward the ceiling. Hold for a breath. Then bend your right knee and curl it forward toward your nose. Lift your hips a little bit and step your right foot up to the top. Lower your back knee down onto the floor. Bring your torso all the way up and reach your arms up. Add some activation from your left glute muscles to help open up the front side of this left hip. And use your breath just to help you ease into the stretch gradually. Exhale, lower your hands. Tuck your back toes under and raise up your back knee. And adjust your feet into a really strong lunge position. We're gonna come up into high lunge in just a sec. Ground into your feet, engage your core, and then slowly rise and send your arms all the way back up. Drive both feet downward. Engage your core strength. And energize upward through your fingertips and your arms. Now you'll notice my arms are a little more forward of my ears. For me, that's about as far back as they go comfortably, so don't feel like you have to take your arms way back by your ears. You're just bringing the arms up overhead to the point where they naturally meet some resistance. You can rotate your pinkies in slightly, and that will give you a lot more comfort in your shoulders. Exhale your fingertips down. Leave your left hand on the mat or place a block under your hand. Twist to the right and stretch your right arm toward the ceiling, pressing continuously through your feet, just like you did in high lunge. Exhale your right hand down. Anchor your left palm down on the mat, and we're going to sweep this right leg back for side plank. So as your right leg goes back, swivel onto the outer edge of your left foot. You can stack your feet on top of each other. You can separate the feet apart, or even lower the left knee down for kneeling side plank, and open your right arm up toward the ceiling. Push from your left arm into your left shoulder blade, your left side muscles, And then even engage your legs and your glutes here to help support. From there, lower your right palm and press back into downward facing dog. From downward dog, raise your left leg. Bend into your knee, curl it forward, and step your left foot up to the top. Lower your back knee down, bring your torso up, and stretch your arms up overhead. Lower your fingertips down, tuck your back toes under and raise up your back knee and set up your legs for high lunge. Once your legs feel really strong, bring your torso up, send your arms all the way up, finding that comfortable position for your shoulders as you reach up through your fingertips. Continue to drive energy from your legs down into the floor. From high lunge, exhale your fingertips down. Right hand will remain on the mat or on a block. Turn your chest toward the left and stretch your left arm up. Keep that same strength and activation in your legs, especially pressing through your right leg, engaging your glutes, your hamstrings. That's going to help lift the back knee a little more, but it's also going to create more of a foundation for you. From your twist, exhale your hand down, plant your right palm, and we're gonna step back into side plank on the right. So as you step this left foot back, turn onto the edge of your right foot. You can stack or separate your feet or put the right knee down, and then take your left arm up for your side plank pose. Press strong through your right arm, right shoulder, your side muscles, and your legs. Bring your left palm down and push back into downward facing dog. From downward dog, step or hop to the top of your mat. Inhale, half lift. And exhale, fold forward. Sit back into chair pose, bend your legs, engage your core in, and sweep your arms up. Elongate your spine, and as you sit back, keep your core engaged. That's going to help keep your pelvis in position. It'll keep your lower back nice and stable, and it will make this pose feel stronger. Two more breaths. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, half lift. Plant your palms. Exhale, step back to plank. Lower down through chaturanga. Inhale, upward dog or cobra. Exhale, downward dog. From downward dog, step your right foot up to the top. Anchor your back foot for warrior one, turning that left foot to about 45 degrees. Come on up to warrior one. Send your arms up overhead. Press strong through both legs, engaging your left glutes, your left hamstrings. Press all the way down into the floor. And at the same time, energize through your arms. From Warrior One, place your hands to hips. Now we've been practicing this transition to Warrior Three. So take your time, pivot onto your left toes. Hinge slightly forward so your weight goes into your front leg. And you're slowly pressing off of your back foot to step forward into your right leg. Lift your left leg up behind you to about hip height. Roll your left hip down to level your pelvis. And elongate from your heel to your crown. Option to extend your arms back like airplane wings, keeping strength in your back muscles, but still supporting with your core. Start to bring yourself upright towards standing. Bring this left knee up in front of you. Bend your right leg and cross your left leg over top. Sit back into your hips. You might join your palms together in front of you, or you can add eagle arms, wrapping your left arm under your right and winding your palms around toward each other. Sit back a little more into that right leg. You're challenging the right leg muscles. You're challenging your balance. So don't worry if you fall over. That's okay. You got time to go back to it. Stand all the way up, unwinding your leg. Unwind your arms, reach up overhead. Take a big breath. And exhale, fold forward. Inhale, half lift. Plant your hands down. Exhale, step back. Now you can choose here to take a vinyasa, lowering down through chaturanga, or push back to down dog for a few extra breaths. Then from downward dog, step your left foot to the top, angle your back foot for Warrior One, and as you ground through your feet, bring yourself all the way up and send your arms up. To transition to your Warrior Three, take your hands to hips, pivot onto the ball of your back foot, and elongate your torso forward so you're bringing weight into this front left leg. Slowly press off of your right toes to step forward into your left leg. Bring the right leg up toward hip height. Lower your right hip slightly to level off your pelvis. And perhaps extend your arms like airplane wings. Keep a nice mix of core strength and back strength, so your spine feels really stable, you're supporting your hips and your pelvis, your legs are really strong. Let's stand all the way up. Bring that right knee up. Bend your left leg and cross the right leg over. Sit back into your legs. You can join your palms together or wrap your right arm under your left for eagle pose. Press down into your left foot, strong. Sit slowly back into your left hip, engaging your glutes and your hamstrings, really helping to work the strength and stability of this pose and Like I said on the other side, don't worry about it if you fall out of it. That's going to be an inherent part of balancing poses. So just go with the flow. All right, let's release, unwind. Sweep your arms up, nice big breath. And this time, exhale, just release your arms straight down into Tadasana. Stand nice and tall. Bring your hands to hips and pick up your left foot, step it back, and turn toward the left. So you're facing toward the left edge of your mat. You can open up your arms here into 5-pointed star. Turn your right toes toward the top end of the mat and pivot your left foot in slightly. Elongate the stance enough that you have room to bend your front knee into warrior two. Push evenly through both legs and stretch out evenly through both arms. Keep your legs as they are. Let your left hand lower down onto your back leg. Flip your right palm to face up. Reach your right arm up and slightly over into a side bend. You're still staying really consistent through the lower body, toning your core strength to support your back. Lengthen out of your lower back and send your breath out into your side ribs. Come back through center. Lower your right forearm onto your right thigh. Send your left arm overhead on an angle. Tone your core and very gently rotate your upper ribs back while you keep the front ribs drawn in. You can reach this right arm down. I like to use a block here under the right hand just to add some extra height, but you might find that you're more comfortable with forearm to thigh. Slowly press back up through warrior two. Go ahead and straighten your leg, but keep your feet planted as they are. And you can reach a little more forward to set up for Trikonasana or triangle pose. Bring your right hand to your right leg. You can place it on the shin or the thigh, or lower your hand onto a block. Send your left arm straight up toward the ceiling, extending through both arms. Keep the same grounded feeling through your legs, the same activation of your front ribs in, so you're engaging core strength, and the same movement of your breath into those side ribs. Looking down, place your top hand onto your hip. Bend up your front knee and step your back foot up closer. Place your right hand about 1 foot ahead of your baby toe. You might be using a block under your hand like I am here. Shift your weight into your right leg and raise your left leg up to set up for half moon pose. Now this is really similar in terms of activation to the last pose that we did. So your legs are grounding, even that lifted leg. Your core is toned in, and then if you want, you can stretch up through your left arm, also engaging your arms. Now take your time, step back toward your warrior two, pivot into 5-pointed star, and bring hands to hips. Let your knees soften. Your feet are pretty much parallel to each other, and then you can hinge from your hips, folding forward. Hands can go onto your mat or onto a block. Let your neck and shoulders relax down, and gently lift your tailbone upward. Inhale to lengthen, coming up onto your fingertips. Exhale, hands to hips with strong legs. Inhale, slowly rise up. Extend your arms back to 5-pointed star and turn your left toes toward the back end of the mat. Angle your right foot in slightly. Create enough length in the stance that you can bend into your front leg for warrior two. In warrior two, keep your legs, lower your right hand onto your back leg, flip your left palm to face up, and reach your left arm up and over into a side bend, lengthening out of your lower back and breathing into your sides. Bring that back through center and bring your left forearm to thigh, right arm overhead on an angle. Option to reach your left arm down, and you can use a block underneath that left hand if you'd like. Press down strong through your legs. Rise all the way back up to warrior two. Straighten your front leg. Reach slightly forward and bring your left hand to your left leg or to your block as you send your right arm up. Take your top hand onto your hip, looking down. Bend up your front knee and step that back right foot closer. Move your left hand forward toward the back end of your yoga mat. You might be using a block here. And shift your weight into your left leg, raising your right leg up. Press through both feet, even this lifted leg. Tone and engage core strength. And you might raise your right arm up as well. Slowly step back toward warrior two. Straighten out your left knee, turn your left foot, and you're back to 5-pointed star. Take your hands behind you to interlace your fingers together. And as you hinge forward this time, gently stretch your knuckles back. Release your hands to the mat. We'll do a slightly different transition this time. Turn toward the top end of your mat, walk your hands around and pivot your feet so they face toward the top. Bring your right hand to the inside of your right foot. Walk your right foot a little wider and place your thumbs together with hands to the inside of that right foot. From there, step your left foot all the way up. And your feet will be a little wider than your hips, so you can start to ease your hips downward toward Malasana, or your low squat. In Malasana, a block can be placed underneath your tailbone to add some extra support. Then for Malasana, lower your hands down and you can let your hips rise up. And we're just gonna keep the hands in between the feet. Step your left foot back toward the back end of the mat and you're gonna return to where we were just prior to doing the squat. You'll be in a lizard lunge position. Once there, lower your back knee to the floor. You can choose to bring a block underneath your hands if you'd like a little more height. And allow your hips to gently lunge into the lizard pose. Now here, option to bring your right hand over to your right leg and turn toward the right. You can bend your back knee using initially your hamstring muscles to hold the foot in place. You can reach back with your right hand, and if the foot's in reach, you can take hold of the foot. Now this will stretch the front side of that left thigh, so you're getting more of a quad stretch. But find a really comfortable position on the knee. So I find just going and resting the weight a little above the kneecap, so you're on the soft tissues, is really comfy. And you can add a cushion or something soft underneath your knee for some extra knee padding. Okay, release that down. Come back around to center. And we're gonna switch legs. So just tuck your back toes to lift the back knee. Step your left foot up and step your right foot back. Lower your back knee to the floor. Feel free to add in a block under your hands and just very gently let your hips move into the lunge. Option to bring your left hand over to the left leg to add a twist. You can also bend your back knee, holding with the hamstrings, or reach your left arm back, maybe take hold of the foot if it's in reach. Release the foot down, coming back around to center. Draw your hips slightly back this time, and just slide your left leg back behind you so you arrive on hands and knees. From there, walk your knees a little more forward so you've got some room to swing your legs around toward the top end of your mat. And come to land on your back. Once you're lying on your back, bend both legs, placing your feet onto the floor. Bring your feet about hip distance apart and place your hands by hips. Drive your feet down into the floor and activate your glutes as you lift your hips. Elongate the front side of the hip creases and tone in your lower ribs. Once you've got that glute, hamstring, and core strength in place, keep pressing through your feet and hold, taking slow and steady breaths. Lower your hips all the way down and stretch out into a comfortable resting position. Set your feet back up in the same position. Press through your feet, engage the glutes, lift your hips up, bridge pose, add your core strength, hold here and breathe. Now we're just going to lower the hips down to the mat for about 1 breath. And then engage and lift back up, holding, activating strong through your legs. Lower the hips for 1 breath. And bring it back up. Squeeze and lift. Hold. You'll notice that if you let go of some of that glute activation, the hips kind of sink down, and that's going to go right into your lower back. So we want to keep that the really primary part of the strength of this pose. All right, release down for 1 breath. We're going to do 1 more round. And then let's go. Lift up, squeeze and activate. Find your glutes, your hamstrings. Nice deep breaths. All right, release down to the mat. Go ahead and stretch out into a comfortable position. Hopefully you can feel your glutes, your butt cheeks, your backside muscles. So we'll just give those a little breather. Now this time, as you bend your legs, bring your feet on the mat and just take your feet out a bit wider toward the edges. Let your knees fall inward and just slowly start to rotate the knees over to the right and over to the left. I also like to bring my arms overhead in a cactus position, just a little more chest opening. Come back to center, walk your feet back into neutral, and cross your right ankle over your left thigh. So we'll stretch a little more into those glute muscles that we just worked on. In thread the needle pose, you can hold here or bring the legs toward you and reach through with your arms. You can hang onto your left shin or onto your left hamstrings. And you can very slightly angle the legs off to one side or the other just to see if you're able to pinpoint the stretch in a way that really makes sense for today. Lower your left foot down if it's not already. Wrap your right leg over your left leg and lift and shift your hips a little bit over to the right. Twist your knees over to the left into a cross-legged twist, opening your right arm out to the right. Now, of course, if the cross-legged twist doesn't feel good for you, you can uncross your legs and stack your knees instead. Take your twist back to center, unwinding your legs, and cross your left ankle for thread the needle. You can bring the legs closer and thread your arms through to hang on, or leave that right foot grounded on the mat. Take some time to pinpoint the stretch, but make sure it feels quite comfortable and relatively mild so that you can actually relax a little bit while you're here. Release your right foot down and wrap your left leg over more tightly. Lift and shift your hips a little bit to the left. Twist your knees over to the right. And open your left arm to the left. Bring your twist back to center, unwinding your legs. Slowly bring your knees all the way into your chest. And you can choose to hug the knees in or take hold of the soles of your feet, moving into happy baby pose. You can add some movement by gently rolling from one side to the other, or you might choose to be more still for a few breaths. Release your feet down. Stretch all the way out into a comfortable position for your Shavasana. And start to bring some movement back gradually. And eventually take a nice big stretch over your head. Bend into both knees and slowly roll yourself over onto one side. And bring yourself to a seated position from there. Thank you so much for practicing with me today. Congratulations on making it halfway through this challenge. I'm so excited to see you again tomorrow. Namaste.